answer was began when Carly and others were involved in Yahoo, and then Yahoo had to show under its new management that it was getting better. They found everything that wasn't quite making a profit and killed it. But GeoCities was one of them, and the most obvious. They killed about 20 other services just to show that they're slimming down and they're going back to their core business. But they put up no contingency for the data to go anywhere because contemporarily we have no facility where we consider that a crime or a problem. So archive team got involved. Now, here's my personal pride. I did a bunch of interviews, but I did one that got onto the Time blog about GeoCities going down. And down there was a quote from me. These guys found the way to destroy the most massive amount of history in the shortest amount of time with absolutely no recourse. And I was so happy to have that, because I'm sure some PR guy at Yahoo was like, oh God, how do we fucking, Earlier this year, last year, people got to experience the pain with the T-Mobile Sidekick debacle. Now, I had people, one of the side effects when you're a big, loud asshole pundit is that people leak shit to you and tell you things because they're like, hey, I'm afraid to do this because I want to have job security, but you'll just blare it out to whoever talks about it. What happened with the Yahoo Sidekick, as far as I can determine from people who have told me, was that they basically did a storage array upgrade. And something busted on the storage array. And somebody decided against making they decided against making the cost addition of having a hot spare right there. It's one of those decisions you make. I mean, I did work in sysadmin. I understand. It's like, well, do we want to get the fucking second one up and running on the data center because they were switching data centers? And they didn't. And something scrambled the parity drives, and they lost all their active data. And a lot of people discovered something, which is that T-Mobile Sidekicks depend utterly on that array, to the point that if you reboot them, they lose all their data because they go and pull it down again, charging you. And all these people, these are people lost in the darkness. They don't know from parity drives. They don't care that it was an EMC box versus anything else. All they know is they lost it. You know, all the guy knows is fuck the sidekick. Right? He's got a sidekick. Fuck this thing. I need everyone's phone number. Text me, please. Tell me your numbers. I've lost all my data, all my photos, all my personal material. I love this one. A teenage daughter with hundreds of lost contacts who, yes, is crying, and me, mother who pays money for the honor. All she knows is her daughter was hurt by something she doesn't understand. This is misery. This is something that we shouldn't have happen now. Like, it doesn't make any sense that we do it now. I have some very strong opinions as to what we can do next with it. Oh, by the way, on the good news, it fucked over Perez Hilton. He was very angry, by the way. He was like, fuck you, Sidekick sucks, T-Mobile sucks. He was just so goddamn angry because he felt lost. Now, guarantee, a week later, all the data came back. The reason why was because they pulled it from tape backup, and they lost like 6 days of data. I mean, there was backups were being done, just hot backups weren't being done, but the entire infrastructure. But I only say that because people don't realize that they have turned, that regular human beings, whether they wanted to or not, now have an IT department. They now have an IT department that they've never really dealt with, and when it goes down, they don't know how to reach the IT department. All they know is like everybody else who has ever had an IT department, they know just get some coffee and go outside, go smoke something, because you don't know what the fuck's going on, you'll never will, you're not allowed to know, you wouldn't want to know if you did, you're out there. So it really falls to people who are in the position that some of us are of maintaining data or having data. Now me, I'm out of that game, I'm out of the sysadmin game, I'm in the archiving game. I go and try to find old things. So for me, I'm out of that game. But I think for you, this is a picture of me when I'm 15, because I keep my own history, right? And by the way, that is a telephone, that was a line. This was me posing for my high school yearbook, and I thought, you know what I need to show? I need to show that I stole a payphone, and I need to show that I have a lineman's headset and that it rocks, and that I'm a fan of Roger Waters. Oh, and I stole a highway blinker. Also, 2 highway blinkers. Sorry, I hadn't even noticed that. And right here, another indication, this is the local dialing distance chart from the phone book to tell me which exchanges I could call for a certain rate at certain times of the day. This is kind of something that's kind of lost on today's. The Dustbuster was a whole thing where every picture I posed in the yearbook that year, I had the Dustbuster. So I was on the school newspaper and I'm holding a Dustbuster, and I did a humor magazine, I have a Dustbuster, and so the Dustbuster is there. So the Dustbuster is in every shot. Why? Easy, hold it, have it around, keep it in the locker for when the photos happen. Yeah, so basically I've always been this kind of a weird jerk asshole, okay, just so you know. Now, where am I going with this? What's up with this? So here's the thing. Right now, if somebody tows your car, which you don't want to have happen, right, you find out that you're in an environment that sucks. The tow, you call up a number, which is probably on the sign. You go to the place. It's awful. You find out right there that you have to pay $110 for a towing fee. The fat, cancerous man in the booth does not care about you and points to you where in the mud lot your car is. You go out to your car and you get in it. You hate the fucking world and you drive away. The transaction was shitty. However, they didn't crush your car. They didn't destroy your car. They didn't lose your car in the system inherently so you could never find your car again. You didn't have to, once you had your car, remove something terrible from it because they'd strapped it on. You know, didn't have 4 of those boots on it or something crazy. You just went and got your car and it sucked, and that's, I'll never do that again. I won't park there again. Well, I feel like that's what we should really be seeing with data at this point. At this point, your site that you had something hosted with goes down. And they go, yeah, your stuff is now safeguarded with datavault.com. And datavault.com has been given, here's your, if you give us your information to DataVault, or you're given this code, you go to DataVault, and for $85, they'll send you a CD-ROM with all your data on it because you didn't keep track of it, and you're pissed, you got raped for it, but your data is safe, and you get it. It's not that hard. A contracting firm that did this would make $1 billion just having this thing there. The data companies, once this becomes something that we are ashamed of, because we're not ashamed of it yet, once we become ashamed of it and we lose data this much, the fact that you can go off to this firm and get this crap and it sucks, but you got your data, is going to be, I hope, the way it ends up. Similarly, we have to start taking this attitude about our data that I call pets or meat, which is like right now, in some places, animals are pets, in some places, animals are meat. And certain kinds of animals are certain things. And they mean certain things, and we treat them different ways, because if they're meat animals, we treat them differently than we're pets. You know, if a pet animal gets sick, you take it to the vet. And if a meat animal gets sick, you kill it and feed it to the other animals. But with our data right now, we're treating a lot of our data like it's meat, even though to most of us, we discover the hard way when it's gone that they were pets, and we miss them, and we miss it. I've got so much stuff from people who have died, and they come, you know, the families come to me and say, oh, thank you for saving this, we didn't know. Or people who had data that was like, it turned out everybody was using this piece of data to find out something. It's like the plate, like one of the things I was looking for was serial line charts to get access to networking charts that turned out to be like the standard ones that everyone learns how to like wire networking and everything, and they'd all been sitting on GeoCities. Now granted, yes, it also means I'm one of the larger repositories of Harry Potter fan fiction, and I've got an awful lot of stuff about cats. Cats are wonderful and awesome, and we love cats. Gonna end you. What I hope I hope that you've taken away from this is that feeling of like the fact that right now we have no standardization for shutting things down. That it can be 9 days, 2 days, 0 days, 60 days. The fact that we have this opinion of like, oh, it's a shame it went down, as opposed to why did you choose now to shut it